What story is this market trying to tell us? So right now, my SPY option is making me money. I actually took a buy here. I'm already thinking what's going to happen if this trade keeps going up. It just shot past that and just kept going up. I'm going to make potentially a lot of money. The probability of me getting a piece of that pie is very, very high. This is important when you're looking at the story of the market. And so we look at the market. What story is this market trying to tell us? Well, the story is the market came down. It went up. It made a little bit of a correction here. When it got to this 61, it came down and did a correction. And so let's see what the correction that did. If I go from here to that area there, we change the color, make it blue, right? The market came down to the 11% Fibonacci line right here. Hit it a couple of times and then started to head back up. It breached this line. I actually took a buy here as well once it breached it, because once it passed that high, I was bullish. Plus, it did an 11% correction. That's the minimum correction before the market potentially turns around at the bare minimum. It doesn't always do it. Sometimes it will bypass two trend lines, right? Like it did here, right? It just shot past that and just kept going up before it came and did a massive correction. And so typically if it does a big jump like this, it will do a massive correction, typically. So I'm expecting a massive correction if this thing keeps going up the way it's going up. So it might just keep doing stuff like this all the way up here, right? But it doesn't mean we can't collect profits and sell it along the way. And when it does do a correction, if it goes all the way up there, it will be a pretty big correction. Does that make sense so far with what I've said there? I want you guys to really absorb what I'm saying here.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Because remember, it's always the story. Take the time, guys. Take the time to look at what story is being told. What are they saying? What's going on here? And when I'm watching this, already I'm looking at this line here, this 88. Why? Look at this. Look how many times, right, it came to this area. This is a strong line. So I'm already looking ahead. I'm already looking ahead at what could potentially happen when it gets there, right? I'm not saying it's going to go up there and do this. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that the probability of me getting a piece of that pie, even if it's just that, right, is very, very high. And by the way, a piece of that pie, just so we know, let's say it comes down just that little bit, right? Well, that's going from 60-20 to 60. That's 400%. It's 40 points. This is a great place for me to get a SPY option at the very least, and maybe futures as well, right? When it gets to that area. And for me, even if it goes past it a little bit and scares me, because of this, I have a feeling it's going to correct at the very least, even if it goes past me because of what's happening there. Remember, we're looking at the story of the market always. So yesterday let me go to the 1 minute chart. The market came up and started jumping around like a jackrabbit. And when it got to, like I said, around here somewhere, I jumped in at around 59.70. I jumped in and took a SPY. So right now, my SPY option is making me money. I was a little nervous, but the SPY option is defined. I think I spent $800 on that option, right? Now, and by the way, I'm still not out of the clear. This could very well, on Sunday, this could just turn around on me and shoot right back up. And then Monday, my option that I spent $800 on might only be worth, I don't know, $600, whatever. So I'm going to lose a couple of $100. I will exit out of that option more than likely. I will analyze it before I exit out. But on Monday, I will decide, or it could plunge down even further, at which point I will more than likely get out at that area if it makes its way down to that point. But this line here, this 113, was on my radar. I actually did the futures and I jumped in. I can't remember, but I did really well on the futures. I had a trailing stop loss and it kept going up right after it passed this line here, this 111, 111. As soon as it passed it, I said, okay, I'm going to start betting. And yeah, it never came back. After it passed that right here, it never came back to touch it. So I just kept moving my trailing stop loss and I did really well on a prop account I was using. And so this is how we play the game. And then I was out of that as soon as it gets too late in the day, especially futures. I'm normally out unless I've got a strong line. I was tempted to jump in when it got there, but I did not because of the time. And I didn't have strong confirmation for futures to be able to short it. So I just said, you know what, I'm going to do the option instead because of the flexibility that it gives me. And so speaking of the story, here we have this crazy line, this 113, and this market is jumping up and down. Now, I thought of getting out before, like you can look at the time, 3:59. I thought about getting out. I was just like, is it going to shoot up, right? And I thought about it. And had I gotten out, I may have lost, I don't know, maybe $75, $50. I don't know, right? Because I jumped in somewhere around here, 59.70, and it got to 59.77. So my option, because I bought a put option, meaning I'm looking for this thing to go down. If when it goes up, right, your option is going to be worth less. So I did not. I stayed in the trade because I believed in my technical analysis. I believed in what I told you guys. It went past this 76% Fibonacci line. It went past this 11% Fibonacci line. It went past it here, right? Jumped around, came down. But the second time it came back, I just said, no, now that you're coming back, you are not going to fool me. You are heading up. But probability wise, I knew this is what I'm expecting the market to do, especially since it hit this and did not do a correction. And so I'm expecting this to turn around. So basically it hit this brick wall, the 76. It hit this brick wall. This is not a very strong one, but strong enough. And then this one. So I had to talk myself through this story of what I expect. And I literally just said to myself, okay, well, it's either I'm going to lose $200 on Monday if this thing starts to go up, or I'm going to make potentially a lot of money if it starts to come down. And I looked at what it went up to, and the time, if I look at the time there, it's 3:59, 1 minute. I could have exited out, and I chose not to because, like I said, because of the story and sticking to my guns and knowing that if I did lose a lot, let's say it actually just shot up like crazy, which the probability wise is very small. The most I would lose is $800, or more than likely, if it did go up, maybe it would go up there and range or something like that, and I would lose just a couple of $100 on Monday, and I would exit out, and that would be the end of it. But here's what I know. See, and that's why I don't dwell in losses, because if this market dare to come back to this line, what do you guys think I'm going to do?
Go all in, probably. It's a strong line.
You better believe it. You better believe it. I am going to get my 3 confirmations, obviously, but I am going all in. I will probably jump in with futures and with option and write that guy up, right? So I don't dwell too much, guys. So if you're dwelling in your losses, you don't have confidence in your ability, and you're taking way too much time wallowing in your losses. As long as your losses are predefined, talk yourself through it. If I lose, I'm going to lose $800. That's assuming the whole world, Trump gets rid of income tax and he announces it tomorrow. Now, if he announces that tomorrow, income tax, right? I think we all know this market is probably going to blow right by everything and just shoot up if something like that. And I'm going to lose my $800. But that's fine. Even if that was to happen, right? As soon as it shoots up, what's going to happen when it gets to the very top? It's going to come back down, right? And I'm going to be ready for it. I'm going to be ready for that thing. Let's say it does, Trump announces no income tax for anyone making 200,000 or more, right? This is potentially what it could do. But I've got lines up here already. I can do a reverse fib. I can do a lot of things and just take a put. I just need it to come down a little bit, and then it can continue upwards. And then I'm going to take my profit. But if it breaks all of that, chances are it's going to do a pretty decent correction anyway. And so I just want a piece of that correction action. So it's really important when you guys are trading that you don't wallow in your losses. Losses are par for the course. You have to be okay with losses. And as long as you do your homework and you talk it through, see, I already have lines at the top, right? As I had the 76, so this is the 76 here, and look, I've got the 88 up here. I'm already thinking what's going to happen if this trade keeps going up, right? So yeah, if I was to take a loss here, and I still could take a loss, like I said, I don't know what's going to happen before now and Monday 9:30 a.m. I'm hoping it comes down to this line, and if it does, I'm going to make a lot of money on that put option. But if it doesn't, that's fine. And if it does go up, then I'll be ready for it here. I'll just do my analysis and get ready. I'm just a robot. Just keep doing it over and over again. And if there's no trade, there's no trade. I'll move on to something else. I'll go analyze something else and find another trade.